The night was silent. The human colony slept under the black sky. Only the wind moved, carrying the cold air across the empty streets. Lights in the houses were dim. It was a night like any other. Until a sound broke the silence. It was not the sound of machines, not the sound of animals. It was the sound of a child. Help, please help. My mother won't wake up. The cry was sharp, desperate, and filled with fear. It echoed against the metal walls of the colony. The sound came again, trembling, almost breaking. My mother? She won't wake up. People inside their homes stirred. Some looked out through their windows. They saw a small figure in the shadows near the colony gates. A child, but not a human child. His skin was pale blue. His eyes were wide and shining, glowing faintly in the dark. It was an alien boy, the people whispered. Some closed their shutters. Quickly, others shook their heads. A man muttered, "It's a trick. They want to lure us out." Another voice said, "Don't trust them. Stay inside." No one moved to help. The boy cried again, his voice breaking into sobs. His little hands pressed against the gate. "Please, someone help. My mother is not breathing. She won't wake up." But the humans only watched. Fear chained their hearts. Suspicion filled their minds. Only one person could not turn away. Her name was Mara. She was a woman who lived on the edge of the colony. She heard the cry and felt her chest tighten. She could not ignore the pain in that voice. She stepped outside, even as her neighbors warned her. "Mara, don't. It's dangerous. It's a trap. You'll regret it." But Mara shook her head. "He is just a child," she whispered. "I cannot let him cry alone." The boy saw her walking toward him. His glowing eyes widened with hope. He rushed forward, but stopped just short of her. Shaking with fear, his voice was broken and weak. "My mother. Please, she won't wake up. She is sick. I don't know what to do." Mara bent down so her eyes were level with his. She could see the tears running down his pale blue cheeks. He was trembling, his small body shaking as if the whole weight of the world was pressing down on him. "What is your name?" Mara asked softly. The boy sniffed. "Kale, Kale," Mara repeated gently. "Take me to your mother. I will help if I can." The boy's face lit up with relief. But behind his eyes, there was something else, fear. He looked around nervously, as if he was afraid someone was watching. He whispered, "We must hurry. They will not like this. They will not let you help her." Mara frowned. "Who?" "But." Kale only shook his head and tugged at her hand. "Come, please, before it's too late." The night seemed darker as they stepped beyond the gates. The air grew heavy. The land outside the colony was wild and strange. Tall plants with glowing tips leaned toward them. Shadows moved in the distance, silent and watchful. Every step was filled with unease. Mara could feel eyes on her. She knew. This place was not safe, but the boy's desperate grip on her hand gave her courage. "Tell me about your mother," she asked quietly as they walked. Kale's voice trembled. "She was fine this morning. She smiled at me. She told me not to worry. But then she fell. She has not opened her eyes since. I shake her. I call her. Nothing works." His words were like knives in Mara's heart. He was only a child, alone in a dangerous world, watching his mother fade away. They walked deeper into the wild lands. The colony lights grew faint behind them, swallowed by darkness. Strange sounds echoed from the cliff's low growls, rustling movements. Mara tightened her grip on Kale's hand. At last, the boy stopped. He pointed toward a dark cave under the rocks. His voice was small and broken. "She is inside." Mara looked at the cave. Its mouth was wide and black, like an open jaw waiting to swallow them. Cold air poured out, carrying a strange smell like metal and ash. Her heart pounded. Every instinct told her to turn back. But then she looked at Cale's tear-stained face. She could not abandon him. "Stay close to me," she whispered. "Together." They stepped into the cave. The darkness closed around them. Drops of water fell from the ceiling. The air was thick and heavy. Mara could hear her own heartbeat pounding in her ears. Then she saw it at the far end of the cave. Lying on a bed of strange cloth and glowing crystals was a figure. A woman. Her skin was the same pale blue as Cale's, but faintly glowing with strange patterns. Her chest rose only a little, her breathing shallow and weak. Her eyes were closed. This was Cale's mother. Mara knelt beside her. She touched the alien woman's hand, which cold. Too cold. Cale fell to his knees beside her. His voice cracked. "Please, please help her. Don't let her die." Mara felt a chill run through her. She had no medicine, no tools. She did not even understand this alien body. Yet here she was, the only human who had chosen to listen. As she looked at the alien woman, she noticed something. Strange symbols glowed faintly across her skin, pulsing like light underwater. They moved slowly, as if alive. Mara's breath caught. This was no normal sickness. This was something else, something far more dangerous. And deep in the shadows of the cave, something stirred. The cave was silent, but not empty. Mara could feel it. Something unseen moved in the shadows, like a whisper crawling over her skin. Cale clung to her arm. His glowing eyes darted around. He seemed more afraid of the darkness around them than of his mother's strange sickness. "Stay close," Mara whispered. But even as she said it, she wondered, stay close to what? To her, to safety. There was no safety here. The further they went, the more the night pressed against them like a living thing. Mara bent over the alien woman again. Her breathing was shallow. The glowing patterns on her skin pulsed slowly, like fading light. Mara touched the woman's wrist, feeling nothing but cold. She is dying, Mara thought, but she did not say it out loud. Cale's little face already carried too much fear. "Can she be saved?" Mara asked softly. Cale nodded quickly, almost desperately. "Yes, there is medicine, far from here. My people used it before. Before the war, it can wake her. But I cannot go alone. The shadows, they watch me." Mara's stomach tightened. She had heard the rumors of strange creatures living in the wastelands, things that were neither human nor alien. But Cale's eyes were begging her. "I will help you," she said. Relief washed over the boy's face. He took her hand again and pulled her deeper into the cave. The path twisted downward, narrow and wet. Strange glowing roots clung to the walls, pulsing faintly with green light. Their light was enough to guide them, but it also revealed shapes. In the stone markings, claw scratches, maybe even warnings. "Who else comes here?" Mara whispered. Cale shook his head quickly. "Not humans. Not my people. Only the Watchers." "The Watchers?" But he gave no answer. He only squeezed her hand tighter. The air grew colder the deeper they went. Water dripped from above, each drop echoing like a heartbeat. Mara's breath came out in white clouds. She had never been this far outside the colony before. Every step away from the walls felt like stepping off the edge of the world. Suddenly, Cale stopped. His small body froze. His head turned slowly toward a dark tunnel to the left. Mara followed his gaze. At first, she saw nothing. Then, in the faint green glow, she saw them dot eyes. Dozens of small, round eyes staring at them from the darkness. Silent, unblinking. Mara's heart hammered. She grabbed Cale and pulled him close. The eyes did not move, but she felt the weight of their stare. "Don't look at them," Cale whispered, his voice trembling. "If you look too long, they follow." Mara tore her gaze away, forcing herself to stare at the floor. Her skin prickled, every instinct screaming to run. They walked faster now, almost running. The sound of their footsteps echoed through the cave, mixing with the drip of water and the faint hum of the glowing roots. Behind them, the watchers stayed silent. But Mara could feel the eyes burning into her back. At last, they came out into a wider space. The ceiling opened high above them, where cracks in the stone showed bits of the night sky. Stars glittered faintly, like tiny holes in the roof of the world. Cale pointed to the far side of the cavern. "That way. Beyond the ridge, the medicine is kept there." Mara followed his finger. On a passage wound upward, leading into deeper darkness. But the air that drifted from it was different, warm, heavy, and filled with a strange metallic smell. She frowned. "Are you sure this is safe?" Cale's small face hardened with courage. "It is the only way." They climbed. The walls here were rough, jagged, and sharp. Twice, Mara cut her hand on the stone, leaving streaks of blood behind. Cale glanced at it with worry, but she shook her head. "Keep going." As they climbed higher, the sound changed. The drip of water faded. Instead, a low hum filled the air, like the beating of a giant heart buried deep in the stone. Mara shivered. "What is that sound?" Cale's voice was small. "It is the sleeping one. The sleeping one," Mara repeated. But before Cale could answer, a gust of hot air rushed through the tunnel, carrying with it the smell of ash and smoke. Mara stumbled back, but Cale held her hand firmly. His glowing eyes were filled with determination. "We must go forward," he whispered, "before my mother's light goes out." They reached the top of the ridge. Below them stretched a hollow chamber lit by glowing crystals. Strange machines, half buried in the rock, blinked with dying lights. Some were alien, others human wreckage from battles long ago. And in the center, a pedestal of stone held a single vial. The liquid inside glowed softly, shifting colors like fire underwater. Cale's breath caught. "That is it." The medicine. Mara stared down at it, her heart pounding. It looked ancient, powerful, and dangerous. The cavern shook, as if the earth itself was breathing. Mara pulled Cale close, shielding him with her arm. The glowing vial on the pedestal flickered, its light dancing across the walls like fire. Cale's small voice trembled. "We must take it quickly, before it wakes." Mara's eyes darted to the cracks spreading along the far wall. A low rumble echoed, deep and steady, like the growl of something too big to see. She had no time to think. She grabbed the vial and clutched it against her chest. The moment her fingers touched the glass, the hum stopped. Silence fell heavy, crushing. Then, from the broken wall, a single eye opened. It was not like a human eye, not like an alien eye. It was vast, glowing with golden fire, staring straight into her soul. Mara gasped. She could not move. The eye was ancient, endless. It looked at her not with curiosity, but with hunger. Cale yanked at her arm. "Don't look. Run." Her body broke free from the frozen terror. They scrambled back down the ridge, the vial glowing in her hands. Behind them, the cracks widened. The eye closed again, but the ground shuddered, as if the sleeping one was rolling in its stone bed. They ran until the hum faded into silence. Only then did Mara breathe again. They returned to the cave where Cale's mother lay. Her breathing was shallow, her glowing skin dimmer now, as if her light was fading with every second. Cale knelt beside her, tears streaming down his cheeks. "Please, give it to her. Please save her." Mara held the vial, staring at the strange liquid inside. It pulsed like it was alive. She felt its warmth even through the glass. But as she moved closer, she saw something that made her freeze. The symbols glowing on the alien woman's skin shifted. They were not random marks. They were words. Not human words, not alien words. Something older. Something carved into the bones of the world. The symbols glowed brighter when the vial came near, as if answering to it. Mara whispered, "She is not only sick, she is changing." Kale looked at her with wide eyes. Changing. Mara touched the woman's skin. The symbols flared for a moment, and in that moment, Mara saw something in her mind. A memory that was not hers. A war. Flames covering the sky. Humans and aliens fighting side by side against something greater. And in the middle of the fire, Kale's mother, holding the same glowing vial, her eyes burning with light. Mara pulled her hand back, gasping. Her chest rose and fell quickly. She had seen too much, yet not enough to understand. "What did you see?" Kale whispered. Mara shook her head slowly. "Your mother? She was not just anyone. She carried something powerful, something dangerous." Kale's lips trembled. She was a protector. Before the war, before the humans came, she guarded the old secrets. She never wanted to fight. But when the war started, they forced her. "She hid this from me, but now you know." Mara looked at the vial again. If this liquid could save Kale's mother, it could also wake something else, something that humans and aliens had once fought together to destroy. She hesitated. "If I give this to her, what will she become?" Kale grabbed her arm, desperation burning in his eyes. "She will be my mother. She will live. Please. I cannot lose her." Mara's heart ached. He was only a child. Could she deny him? But the memory of that giant golden eye flashed in her mind. If Kale's mother woke with that power inside her, would she still be his mother? Or something far worse? The woman's chest shuddered. A weak sound escaped her lips. "Kay?" Her eyes opened just a little, glowing faintly. She looked at Mara, not at her son. Her lips moved, whispering words too soft to hear. Mara leaned close. "What is it? What do you want to say?" The alien woman's glowing eyes fixed on her. With her last strength, she whispered, "Do not let them have it." And then her eyes closed again. Mara froze. Her hand shook around the vial. "Don't let who have it? The humans, the aliens, the watchers, the sleeping one?" The question echoed in her mind, unanswered. Kale's little hands grabbed hers. "Please, give it to her now. You promised." Mara's throat tightened. She was trapped between two choices: save the child's mother and risk unleashing something unknown. Or let the woman die and carry the guilt forever. She lifted the vial slowly, her hands trembling. The liquid inside swirled brighter, pulsing, like a heartbeat. The symbols on the alien woman's skin blazed with light, filling the cave with a glow that pushed back the shadows. And deep in the walls, something stirred again. The hum returned. Faint, but growing. Mara realized with horror that every choice had a cost. The cave glowed with strange light. The vial in Mara's hands pulsed like a living heart. The symbols on the alien woman's skin burned brighter, spreading across her body like fire in the dark. Kale knelt by his mother, his small hands clutching at Mara's sleeve. His voice cracked with tears. "Please, don't wait. Give it to her now." Mara's throat was dry. Her hands shook. She looked at the vial, then at the boy, then at the cave around them. The walls seemed to hum, as if something far beyond them was listening. The woman's words echoed in her head. "Do not let them have it." But who were they? Before she could decide, a noise broke the silence. Boots, metal striking stone, voices shouting. In the distance, Mara's stomach dropped. She knew that sound. 'Twas human guards. The soldiers entered the cave with rifles in their hands. Their armor gleamed under the glowing light. The man in front wore a hard expression, his voice sharp. "There she is." The alien witch. "Step away, Mara." Mara stood, shielding Kale behind her. Her heart raced. She's dying. She is no threat to anyone. The man sneered. No threat? Do you know who she is? Do you know what she's done? Kale cried out, his voice breaking. She is my mother. The guard's cold eyes didn't soften. Your mother is a killer, boy. She led raids against our people. She burned our outposts. Hundreds of humans died because of her. Mara's chest tightened. She looked at Kale, who shook his head desperately. It's not true. She never wanted war. They forced her enough. The guard barked. Mara, step aside. That thing is dangerous. We'll take her back to the colony. Alive if possible, dead if necessary. Mara's fingers tightened around the glowing vial. She felt trapped. Between two walls, Kale's desperate hope and the guard's cold fury. Her voice trembled. She is sick. She needs help, not chains. The guard raised his rifle. You don't understand. She is more than sick. She carries a secret, something both humans and aliens fought over. That power cannot fall into the wrong hands. Give it to us now. Mara's heart skipped. So they knew about the vial. Was this what the alien woman had warned her about? Kale clung to her arm, his small body shaking. Don't listen to them. Please, save her. Mara felt torn apart. On one side, the boy's innocent eyes begged her to keep her promise. On the other, the soldier's weapons promised death if she refused. The guard stepped closer, his rifle aimed at the alien woman's chest. Last chance, Mara, move aside. For a moment, the world seemed to stop. Mara looked at Kale's mother. Her face was pale, her breathing shallow. The glowing patterns on her skin were fading, dimming like dying stars. If Mara did nothing, she would die. But if Mara gave her the vial, if she let the woman drink, what would rise again? Her mind screamed with questions. Would she remain a mother? Or awaken as something more powerful, more dangerous? Would Mara save a life or unleash a storm? Kale tugged at her, his voice a desperate whisper. You promised. Guard's voice cut through the air, harsh and final. Choose, Mara. Choose now. Her heart pounded. Her hands trembled. But deep inside, a voice whispered, if I do nothing, I betray them both. If I choose wrong, I destroy us all. She took a deep breath and stepped forward. No, she said firmly. Will not let you take her. The guard's eyes narrowed. Then you have chosen the enemy. He raised his rifle, and in that instant, the cave exploded with light. The alien woman's body glowed like fire. The symbols across her skin burned so bright they lit the cave like a second sun. The guards staggered, shielding their eyes. The vial in Mara's hand vibrated violently, almost leaping from her grasp. The glowing liquid inside swirled faster and faster, as if alive. Kale's mother gasped, her chest rising. Her eyes snapped open to pools of blinding light. Mara froze. She had not even given her the vial yet. The power was waking on its own. The woman's voice filled the cave, soft yet echoing like thunder. They must not have it. The guards stumbled back, fear breaking their hard faces. She's awakening, stop her. Rifles clicked. Fingers pressed triggers, and Mara knew the choice was no longer hers alone. The cave was filled with blinding light. Kale's mother glowed like fire, her skin covered with living symbols. The guards shielded their eyes, shouting, their rifles shaking in their hands. Mara stood frozen between two worlds, one side, The humans she knew. The other, the alien boy and his mother who carried secrets too great to understand. The guard captain shouted over the roar of energy, his voice filled with panic. She is not sick, she is waking. Do you not see? She is the enemy, Cale cried out, his small arms stretched around his mother's glowing body. She is not the enemy. She is my mother. Mara's chest tightened. She saw the boy trembling, yet standing like a shield before his mother. He was only a child, but his courage cut sharper than any blade. The light dimmed just enough for Mara to see Cale's mother's eyes. They burned like suns, but inside them was pain, not hatred. She whispered, voice trembling with power, "The enemy is not me." The soldiers looked at each other uneasily. One lowered his rifle. Another cursed. Under his breath, the guard captain's face hardened. Lies. The enemy always hides in sweet words. Before Mara could speak, the ground shook violently. Dust rained from the ceiling. The glowing symbols across the cave walls lit up, one by one, like a chain. Of fire then came the sound. A low hum, deep and endless, growing louder. It was the same sound Mara had heard in the tunnels before, the sound of something ancient. Something sleeping. Cale's mother lifted her trembling hand and pointed toward the stone walls. The Watchers, the sleeping one. They are the sleeping one. They are the Slaw. True enemy, if you kill me, you free them. Mara's blood ran cold. Images from the vision flashed in her mind, the golden eye. The battlefield, the fire swallowing the sky. The guard captain hesitated for only a moment, then snarled, "More tricks. Kill her before it's too late." He raised his rifle. Mara leaped forward without thinking. "Stop!" she shouted, throwing herself between the rifle and Cale's mother. Her heart pounded. Her voice was desperate. "Listen. To her, you think she is dangerous, but what if she's warning us? What if we're aiming at the wrong enemy?" The captain's eyes burned with rage. "Move aside, Mara. You have been deceived." Behind her, Cale's mother's voice trembled, weak but steady. "They do not understand, because they do not remember." She reached out and touched Mara's shoulder, and in an instant, Mara saw again flashes of a war long ago, humans and aliens standing together, side by side, their faces grim. Armies of shadows rose against them, crawling from cracks in the earth. Creatures with too many eyes, too many teeth, moving like smoke. And fire in the vision, Cale's mother stood at the front lines, holding the same vial. She poured its light into the ground, sealing the shadows away. Her body burned with symbols, the same glowing marks that covered her skin now. Her voice echoed inside Mara's mind. "I was not their enemy. I was their shield." The vision shattered. Mara gasped, stumbling back. Her chest heaved. She understood now. The ground split with a deafening crack. From the walls, black mist seeped out, swirling into shapes. Eyes opened in the fog, glowing with hunger. The Watchers, the guards, cried out in terror. Bullets fired into the mist, but the fog swallowed them like water. The captain cursed, his face pale. What is this?" Cale's mother tried to rise, but her body was weak. She pointed to the vial still clutched in Mara's hand. "That light, it is not only medicine, it is a weapon. Only with it can the Watchers be held back." Mara's heart pounded. She looked at the vial. Its glow was stronger now, answering the darkness around them. The captain's voice shook with fear. "If what she says is true, then why hide it? Why not tell us?" Cale's mother closed her eyes, her voice a whisper. "Because humans forgot. They wanted war, not memory." The shadows spread, reaching with claw-like arms. One soldier screamed as the fog wrapped around him, pulling him into the wall. His rifle clattered to the ground. The others panicked, backing away. Mara's choice pressed heavier than ever. She could use the vial to heal Kale's mother, giving her strength to fight again. Or she could keep it, try to use it herself, though she did not know how. Kale grabbed her arm, his voice breaking. "Please, Mara, you saw it. She is not a killer. She is a protector. Give it to her." The guard captain shouted over the chaos, his face pale with fear, but his pride unbroken. "Don't believe her lies. Give the vial to us. We will decide how to use it." Mara stood in the middle, the vial glowing like fire in her hands. Shadows reached closer. Soldiers screamed. Small voice begged. The captain's cold orders cut through the air, and in the middle of it all, Mara felt the cave itself pulsing, like the heartbeat of something ancient waiting to wake. The cave roared like a storm. Shadows spilled from the walls, twisting into shapes with glowing eyes. The soldiers fired wildly, bullets vanishing into the black fog. Screams echoed as the watchers dragged men into the stone, leaving only silence behind. Mara clutched the glowing vial tight against her chest. Its light pulsed like a heartbeat, pushing back the mist around her, but only for a moment. She could feel the watchers pressing closer, hungering for the glow. Kale's mother struggled to sit up, her body trembling with weakness. "We cannot fight them here," she whispered. "The shadows are too strong in this place. We must run." The captain snarled, his face pale, but his pride unbroken. "Run. We are soldiers. We stand and fight." But even as he spoke, another of his men was dragged screaming into the wall, his armor vanishing into the blackness. Kale clung to Mara's hand. Small voice shook. "Please, we must take my mother out. She cannot last here." Mara looked at the soldiers, their rifles flashing uselessly in the dark. Then at Kale, his eyes wide with fear but burning with courage. Her decision was clear. "We're leaving," she said firmly. She helped Kale's mother to her feet. The woman leaned heavily on Mara, her body glowing faint but steady. Kale held her other arm, guiding her toward the narrow tunnel that led out. The captain shouted after them, "Traitors! If you run, you abandon humanity." Mara turned back, her voice sharp. "If we stay, there will be no humanity left to save." The shadows surged forward, and that ended the argument. The surviving soldiers scattered, their shouts lost in the roar of the cave. The tunnel was narrow and twisting. Stones rained from above as the ground quaked. Watchers hissed behind them, their voices like claws scratching against glass. Mara pushed forward, half carrying Kale's mother. "Keep moving," she urged. Kale's glowing eyes lit the path ahead. His voice trembled but steady. "There is a way out. A hidden passage my people used long ago." The tunnel forked. Mara hesitated. Left, the air was cold, heavy with fog. Right, the air was warmer, carrying the faint smell of smoke. "Which way?" she asked. Kale's mother lifted her trembling hand, pointing right. "The fire path, it leads to the surface." They hurried down the fire path. The tunnel grew hotter, the stone walls glowing faintly as if veins of lava ran beneath them. Mara's skin burned with sweat, but she did not slow. Behind them, the shadows crawled closer, their whispers filling the tunnel like 1,000 voices speaking at once. "Mara, Mara, give us the light." She pressed the vial tighter to her chest. Her breath came quick, but her steps did not falter. Suddenly, the ground split ahead. A wide crack yawned across the tunnel floor, glowing red with molten fire. Heat blasted their faces. Mara froze. "We can't cross this." Kale's mother's eyes glowed faint. "The vial, it can make a bridge." "But only if you trust it." Mara's heart pounded. She held the vial over the crack. The liquid inside swirled faster, glowing brighter. A beam of light spilled out, striking the lava dot stone, rose from the fire, forming a narrow path across the gap. Kale gasped in awe. Mara wasted no time. Go. They crossed, one by one, Kale first, then Mara, supporting his mother. Behind them, shadows surged to the edge, hissing angrily. They could not touch the bridge of light. At last, the tunnel opened into a vast cavern, with a ceiling split by cracks of sky. Cool night air rushed in. Stars glittered above. Mara's chest heaved with relief. They were close to escape, but the Watchers were not done. The black fog poured into the cavern after them, faster now. Desperate, Kale's mother collapsed to her knees, too weak to move further. I cannot run anymore. Mara knelt beside her. We're almost out, just a little further. The woman shook her head, her glowing eyes soft but firm. No, the vial, it must not reach them. If I cannot escape, you must. She looked at Mara, her gaze heavy with meaning. Take Kale. Protect him. Protect the light. Kale's voice broke. No, I will not leave you. He clung to her arm, tears shining in his glowing eyes. The shadows screamed, their voices filling the cavern like thunder. The captain stumbled into the chamber from another tunnel, blood on his face, rifle in his hands. His men were gone, he was the only one left. His eyes locked on the vial in Mara's hands. Give it to me, he shouted, voice half crazed. You can't protect it. Only humans can wield it. Mara shook her head, stepping back. You don't understand. It's not a weapon for war. It's a seal. It keeps the enemy back. The captain's face twisted. With rage, lies. He raised his rifle, finger tightening on the trigger. Kale screamed. The shadows roared. The cavern shook, and Mara knew their time had run out. The cavern trembled as if the world itself was breaking apart. Black shadows poured from the tunnels, their eyes glowing in the dark. The Watchers screamed in 1,000 voices, their whispers crashing like a storm. Kale's mother knelt weakly. On the stone floor, her glowing symbols fading. Mara held the vial tight, its light pulsing against her chest. The only thing keeping the darkness at bay, and in front of her stood the captain, his face pale, his eyes wild, his rifle aimed straight. At her, give it to me, Mara. He roared. The vial belongs to humanity. With it, we can win. With it, we can rule. Mara shook her head, her voice steady but low. It is not a weapon to rule with. It is a seal. It holds back the true enemy. The captain sneered. Enemy. Look around you. Aliens are the enemy. This witch, her kind, her lies, they are the reason we suffer. Kale's small voice cut through the chaos, trembling but fierce. No, you are blind. The Watchers are the enemy. My mother fought them to save everyone, humans and aliens. And she will do it again if you let her live. The captain's face twisted, a child's words mean nothing. His finger tightened on the trigger. The Watchers surged closer. Their black fog stretched long arms across the cavern floor, reaching for the vial. The light in Mara's hands flickered, almost smothered by the darkness. Kale's mother lifted her head weakly, her glowing eyes meeting Mara's. Her voice was soft but heavy with meaning. The vial must be poured into me. Only then can I rise again, only then can the seal be renewed. Mara's chest tightened. She remembered the visions, the golden eye, the battlefield, the fire swallowing the sky. Kale's mother had once been more than a mother. She had been a shield. But could she still be trusted? Or would that power consume her and everything? Else the captain stepped forward, desperate. Don't believe her. Give it to me, and I'll end this madness. Kale clung to Mara's side, his glowing eyes filled with tears. Please, she is all I have. Don't let her die. Maris. Heart pounded. 3 paths stood before her. She could give the vial to the captain, but his eyes were filled not with duty, but with hunger. If he had the vial, he would use it for war, not protection. She could keep the vial herself, but she did not understand its power. One mistake, and she might unleash the very enemy she wanted to stop, or she could give it to Cale's mother. Trusting that her visions had shown the truth that the alien woman was not a destroyer, but the only one strong enough to seal the darkness again. The cavern shook harder. The watchers screamed louder. The captain raised his rifle. Time was gone. The choice was hers. Mara's breath caught. She looked at Cale, at his mother, at the shadows crawling closer, and then she made her choice. She ran forward and knelt beside Cale's mother, pressing the vial into her hands. "Live," she whispered. "For him, for all of us." The captain screamed in rage. "No." He fired, but before the bullet struck, Cale's mother drank the glowing liquid. The cave exploded with light. Symbols blazed across her skin, brighter than fire. Her eyes opened, burning like 2 suns. The bullet dissolved in the air before reaching her. The shadows shrieked, recoiling, their black fog tearing apart under the light. She rose, her body no longer weak. She was tall, radiant, her voice echoing like thunder. "I am no one's weapon. I am the seal, and I will not break." She lifted her hands, and the light surged outward, crashing into the shadows. The watchers screamed as the light consumed them, their glowing eyes snuffed out one by one. The cavern shook, the cracks closing, the darkness forced back into the stone. Mara shielded her eyes. Cale clung to her side, his tears falling, but this time with joy. When the light faded, the cavern was silent. The captain lay on the ground, his rifle broken, his face pale with shock. He stared at Cale's mother, trembling. You should not exist." Her glowing eyes softened, but her voice was firm. "You do not need to fear me. Fear the darkness that sleeps beneath this world. Fear what will return if humans and aliens remain blind." The captain could not answer. He dropped his head, defeated. Cale rushed into his mother's arms. She bent down, holding him close, her glowing skin gentle now. For the first time, she smiled. Mara stepped forward. Her voice was quiet. "It's over." Cale's mother looked at her. "No, this is only the beginning. The seal will not last forever. One day, the Watchers will rise again. And when that day comes, humans and aliens must stand together, or both will fall." Mara nodded slowly. She understood. This night had not been the end of a story, but the beginning of a new one. As dawn broke outside, light spilled into the cavern. The air was cool, clean, free of shadows. Cale held his mother's hand, and Mara walked beside them. For the first time, hope shone brighter than fear.